batendo ponto na cabeça. Clock no trabalho, clock no pensamento, fardamento no cabide, mas a mente em movimento. Pego a chave, desço a rua, deixo o dia pra trás. Só eu, o banco, o motorista e o tanto que não vai. Farol corta o vazio, roxo pinta o horizonte. Tatuagem no volante, segurando o meu enfoque. Cada risco no meu braço é um turno que eu fechei. Cada lágrima pra dentro é um salário que eu não sei. Luffy batendo baixo, de coração cansado. Hi-hat pinga lento, feito goteira no telhado. Catos vendo na janela, desenhando espiral, transformando dor antiga em textura musical. Eu reviso conversas que eu nunca tive coragem. Tá tudo bem, eu aguento, foi minha velha tatuagem. Mas agora nesse carro eu não preciso ser o forte. Posso ser só um cara vivo sem bancar a própria sorte. Então deixo a via lenta ser meu ponto de apoio. Se a mente é fábrica aberta, hoje eu desligo um pouco a sonho. Se o mundo não entender por que diminuo esse papel, eu só digo tô de plantão, mas é night shift no meu céu. Night shift, toma soul, turno extra de paz. Luz de rap no painel roxo cobrindo os sinais. Se amanhã me cobrar, eu respondo depois. Hoje o tempo é só do peito, não é do relógio dos dois. Se eu chegar mais devagar, mas chega sendo quem sou, foi porque fiz hora extra no night shift que me salvou. Eu lembro de promessa que eu fiz com medo de perder. Qualquer coisa chama, tô aqui pra te proteger. Mas quem tava do meu lado quando o céu virou concreto? Eu falando com o teto, ouvindo o eco do meu veto. Família perguntando, tá tranquilo, tá seguro? Eu sorrindo torto, driblando tema obscuro. Aprendi a ser suporte até sem ter estrutura, como prédio mal feito segurando chuva dura. Hoje eu reviso isso no reflexo do retrovisor. Vejo um moleque tentando ser adulto sem calor, tentando ser muralha enquanto o chão rachava embaixo, colocando fita adesiva em lugar que pede encaixe. Respiro fundo, muda a marcha, deixa o peito confessar que não é fraqueza pedir colo, é direito respirar. Que eu também mereço abraço, não só ser braço pros outros. Que eu posso dormir cansado sem ter que explicar os pontos. Não deixa a via lenta ser meu ponto de apoio. Se a mente é fábrica aberta, hoje eu desligo um pouco a sonho. Se o mundo não entender por que diminuo esse papel, eu só digo tô de plantão, mas é night shift no meu céu. Night shift, toma soul, turno extra de paz. Luz de rap no painel roxo cobrindo sinais. Se amanhã me cobrar, eu respondo depois. Hoje o tempo é só do peito, não é do relógio dos dois. Se eu chegar mais devagar, mas chega sendo quem sou, foi porque fiz hora extra no night shift que me salvou. Talvez milagre seja isso, não desmaiar em pé, reconhecer que tá pesado, dizer não dá, não é. Talvez coragem verdadeira não seja aguentar calado, mas se enfrear no acostamento antes de tombar pro lado. Dou folga pro personagem que performa, tá tranquilo, pro soldado automático que só sabe olhar sigilo. Hoje é o funcionário da alma, batendo ponto com verdade, avisando pro patrão interno, eu também sou prioridade. Quando a aurora encostar no topo dos prédios da cidade, eu vou voltar pro apartamento com metade da ansiedade. Não porque resolvi a vida num rolê de direção, mas porque fiz hora extra cuidando da condição. Vou deitar sem ser robô, vou deitar com sentimento. Talvez durma pela primeira vez sem pânico por dentro. Se o despertador tocar e o peso vier também, ao menos sei que lá na noite tem um turno que me convém. Se algum dia alguém ouvir esse som no fone em pé no bus, sentindo o peito apertado, se achando sempre a cruz, quero que entenda que essa rota também cabe mais um, que tem vaga nesse plantão pra dividir o jejum. Night shift, toma soul, turno extra de paz. Luz de rap no painel roxo cobrindo sinais. Se amanhã me cobrar, eu respondo depois. Hoje o tempo é só do peito, não é do relógio dos dois. Se eu chegar mais devagar, mas chega sendo quem sou, foi porque fiz hora extra no night shift que me salvou. Farol apaga, chave gira, o silêncio entra em cena. Mas levo comigo a prova de que a noite também é cena. Que nem todo turno é peso, alguns pagam em cuidado. Night shift, toma soul, recibo assinado.
just me, the road and the thoughts I keep dodging in the daylight. Windshield confessional, I clockin' after 10. When the world goes home to sleep, I go talk to me again. Purple clouds above the hood, city humming far behind. Every line up on this glass like a mirror to my mind. Tatted fingers on the wheel, pulse soft in my wrist. Lo-fi drums in the speakers like a rainy night assist. I've been carrying heavy stories in a backpack made of bone, smiling for the camera while I crumble on my own. Every eye I'm good, don't worry, was a bandage made of lies. Tiny fractures in my voice that nobody recognized, so I save it for the highway where the darkness doesn't judge, where the ashtray is my altar and the smoke becomes my nudge. I confess to every streetlight as it flickers through the rain. Tell it how I learned to swallow and call choking just the pain. How I fed the whole room comfort while my lungs were begging air. How I said it's not that deep when I was drowning under there. Now the wipers clear the glass like they're turning a new page, and the bassline plays a verdict. I'm not guilty of this cage. If the world won't hold my secrets, I got vinyl, I got steel, I got time between these mile marks where I finally get to feel. Windshield confessional, late night interview, 420 halo in a hazy shade of blue. Music chords behind me, truth in every side. I ain't looking for forgiveness, I just needed space to cry. If tomorrow asks what's wrong, I might laugh and say I'm blessed, but tonight it's me and highway in a windshield confession of the mess. In a windshield confession of the mess. Windshield confession of I talk about the friendships that dissolve without a sound. How they love the funny version but went ghost when I broke down. How I texted you around and watched those dots appear and die. How my worth became a question, I was scared to even try. I talk about the lovers who adore my broken parts, till I started really healing and it scared away their hearts. They were used to being heroes, I was used to being saved. When I learned to stand without them, they got bored and they behaved. So I'm driving through the memories like houses on a hill. Some are warm and lit with kindness, some are dark and always will. But I don't pull into the driveways that would rather see me small. I just nod and keep it moving, let the distance take it all. Engine hum like I remember when you thought you were to blame for the way that they went silent, for the way they never came. Now the kick drum answers softly, you were worthy all along. Their absence is a lyric in a different kind of song. And then the wipers clear the glass like they're turning a new page, while the tremble in my chest steps down slowly from the stage. If the world won't hold my secrets, I got leather, I got chrome, I got 30 empty minutes where my heart can call this home. Windshield confessional, late night interview, 420 halo in a hazy shade of blue. Music chords behind me, truth in every side. I ain't looking for forgiveness, I just needed space to cry. If tomorrow asks what's wrong, I might laugh and say I'm blessed, but tonight it's me and highway in a windshield confession of the mess. In a windshield confession of the mess. Windshield confession, really, this is what redemption really looks like on the ground. Not a choir made of angels, just a slow and honest sound. It's the moment that you whisper, I'm not strong the way you think, but I'm brave enough to say it and I'm not afraid to sink. It's admitting you were lonely in a crowd of 100 hands. It's confessing that you smile more for them than for your plans. It's forgiving all the versions that were doing what they could with the tools they had back then and what they thought was understood. So I bless the broken kid who learned to comfort to survive, who turned jokes into a life raft just to keep his hope alive, who said I'm fine in every hallway with his chest about to split, then came out here to the highway just to finally lose his grip. I tell him you're not dramatic, you were drowning with no float. You were busy patching others while you're taking in the boat. But we made it to a shoulder where the breathing's not a race, where the tears don't mean you're failing, just that you ran out of space. Streetlights fade to scatter lanterns on a two-lane stretch of peace, and my heartbeat starts to settle, all the voices start to cease. By the time I hit the exit, I feel lighter in my bones, not because I fixed the story, but because I wasn't stoned. Windshield confessional, late night interview, 420 halo wheel in a hazy shade of blue. Lose your chords behind me, truth in every sigh. I ain't looking for forgiveness, I just needed space to cry. If tomorrow asks what's wrong, I might laugh and say I'm blessed, best. But tonight it's me and highway in the windshield, confession of the mess. Kill the engine, keep the lesson, wipe it out.
Past midnight, got you sitting just above me, but the soul feeling more full than it has in a while. Half tank, whole heart, I ain't going very far. Maybe just beyond the suburbs, maybe just outside the scar. Got enough to make a circle, not enough to disappear. But I don't need a distant city just to feel like I'm sincere. Purple smear along the edges where the skyline starts to fade, like the paint is running out on all the choices that I made. I've been driving on opinions like they gasoline for years, burning out to keep them warm while I was choking on my fears. Now the engine sounds like patience, low and steady in my chest. Every click along the odometer, a small unpaid request. Can you slow down long enough to hear yourself above the drone? Can you sit inside your body like it's more than just a phone? Half tank, whole heart, that's enough for tonight. 420 little journey in the dashboard light. I don't need a full horizon or 1,000 brand new stars. I just need this little loop with a half tank and a whole heart. If I only reach the outskirts, then come back to where I stay. At least I met myself out here and let the noise fall away. Yeah, I used to hate the low view lights, saw it as a sign of lack. Proof I wasn't working hard or smart enough to keep on track. I would push it past the warning, call it hustle, call it grind, till I ended up on empty in the middle of my mind. Did the same thing with my spirit, kept on giving past the beat. Ignored every single signal that my body needed sleep. Bottomed out in conversations where I nodded like I'm cool, while the battery behind my eyes was flashing danger in the pool. So tonight that amber symbol doesn't trigger any shame. It's a boundary I can honor, not a judgment of my name. It just tells me take it easy, keep it local, keep it true. You don't have to cross a country just to prove what lives in you. I pass by the usual exits that would drag me back to work. Let the office tower shrink into a distant little quirk. And I aim for quieter corners where the houses have backyards, where the only score that matters is the rhythm in these bars. I half tank, whole heart, that's enough for tonight. 420 little journey in the dashboard light. I don't need a full horizon or 1,000 brand new stars. I just need this little loop with a half tank and a whole heart. If I only reach the outskirts, then come back to where I stay. At least I met myself out here and let the noise fall away. Maybe this is what abundance really looks like on the low. Having just enough of something to decide where you can go. Not a wallet overflowing, not a schedule packed with gold, but the space to say I'm tired without fear of being cold. So I budget out my energy like miles on this gauge. Save a little for tomorrow, don't spend all of it in rage. Keep a quarter for a breakdown, keep a quarter just for joy. Keep a quarter for the kid in me that still feels like a boy. I roll past an empty playground with the chain still creaking slow. Moonlight glinting off the slide like a memory I know of a time before I measured every value by a task. When existing was enough and I didn't need a mask. I pull over by the curb, kill the lights and let it breathe. Hear the ticking of the engine, feel the night wind through my sleeve. Close my eyes and thank the version of me who turned the key, who decided half is plenty if the half is really me. I ain't cured, I ain't finished, I still struggle to believe, but I gave myself an evening that I used to never leave. Used to give it to the hustle, to the chatter, to the scroll. Now I'm giving it to silence and whatever heals my soul. Yeah, half tank, whole heart, that's enough for tonight. 420 little journey in the dashboard light. I don't need a full horizon or 1,000 brand new starts. I just need this little loop with a half tank and a whole heart. If I only reach the outskirts, then come back
I came from with a softer armor on. If they ask me where I went with just a small amount to start, I'll say nowhere that you notice. Just half tank and a whole heart. Yeah. Clock says I'm off. Brain says one more shift. Overthinking on overtime. Punching in my skull. Boss is just my inner critic, trying to keep the schedule full. Every silence is a meeting, every worry is a task. Every heartbeat is a warning that I never thought to ask. So I grab the keys and dip, let the concrete set me free. Purple evening on the hood, like the sky is stressing me. Tatted fingers on the wheel, loosen up with every mile. Lo-fi kick inside the speakers, rearranging all my style. Notifications go to voicemail, group chat on mute. If I answer every message, I'll go bankrupt on my truth. I've been giving out my energy like coupons at a store. Watching people stock their carts, leaving me with nothing more. Engine humming like a therapist who only says take time. Let the smoke spell little answers I can never put in rhyme. All the shoulda, woulda, coulda, fade the static in the back, while the high beams draw a lane where I don't gotta keep the act. Overthinking overtime, I'm calling in a break for a 20 little moment for my overloaded brain. Sweet scenes around me, base to hold the fear. I don't have to solve my life in this 4-minute sphere. If tomorrow's still a riddle, that's a riddle I can face. Cause tonight I turned my time card in and drove out of that place, yeah. I've been paid in expectations that I never signed to get. Clocking in for everybody, drowning in their petty debt. They deposit all the chaos in the inbox of my chest, then they log off for the evening while I process all the mess. I remember every time I try to say I'm not okay. Watch them change the conversation, watch the focus walk away. So I learned to make it funny, turn a panic to a bit. How to break down in the punchline so they never call me split. But the jokes got heavy, man, couldn't feel my own punchline. Every laugh became a layoff for the part that once was mine. So I drove out to the edges where the billboards disappear, where the only ad I'm seeing says just breathe, you're still here. Streetlights blur like yellow commas in a paragraph of blue, and between them I can squeeze in tiny sentences of truth. Little phrases like I matter, I'm exhausted, I need rest. Stuff that never makes the meeting but belongs here in my chest. Overthinking overtime, I'm calling in a break for a 20 little moment for my overloaded brain. No sweet sense around me, ways to hold the fear. I don't have to solve my life in this 4-minute sphere. If tomorrow's still a riddle, that's a riddle I can face. Cause tonight I turned my time card in and drove out of that place. Oh, yeah, yeah. Maybe I ain't lazy, maybe I ain't falling short. Maybe I just never learned to find my feelings in the core. Maybe rest is not a failure, maybe peace is not a crime. Maybe nothing on the schedule is a win, not wasting time. So if guilt starts sending emails saying get back to the grind, I'll mark everyone as spam and press delete inside my mind. Forward all my inner deadlines to a folder label later. Auto reply I'm out tonight, come back with love, not with a hater. By the time I hit the exit near the edge of this small town, I can feel my shoulders dropping, breath go deeper, thoughts so down. I'm still work in progress, still a walking question mark. But at least I took my power back from all that mental thought. Walk up outside my building with the engine ticking low. Look up at my window glowing like a stage I sorta know. And I tell the scared employee living somewhere in my spine, we're not just a cog in chaos, we can clock out, we are mine. Pocket all the little truths I whisper to the road, carry them inside tomorrow when I face another load. And if stress tries to write me in for one more unpaid sleepless night, I'll just grab the keys again and let the dashboard be my light. Overthinking overtime, I'm calling in a break for a 20 little moment for my overloaded brain. Don't see songs around me, ways to hold the fear. I don't have to solve my life in this 4-minute sphere. If tomorrow's still a riddle, that's a riddle I can face. Cause tonight I turned my time card in and drove out of that place. Kill the lights, lock the door, let the quiet sound hang out. If my mind comes begging one more shift, I'll simply turn it down. Overthinking had me working till my soul fell all apart. Now I'm learning how to drive home with a clock out in my heart.
Just me, this car, couple coins in the cup holder, and a whole lot on my mind.
Midnight spec chain, rattling in a tray. Tiny metal thunderstorms every time I hit a lane. Quarter dimes and expectations, all the things I never spent. All the maybe we should talk that turned to nah, it's fine, forget. I've been living like a pocket that they empty when it bleeds. Stuffing favors, free support and unpaid labor in my jeans. And they take what they can carry, leave the rest inside the rust. And I drive around with leftovers I never learned to trust. Purple neon on the windshield like a bruise that turned to art. Loaf of crackle on the snappy maps of cracks inside my heart. Tatted fingers on the wheel, tap along to every dial. Counting all the times I showed up when I should've tapped out. I was trying to make them richer with the little that I had, thinking if I give enough, maybe they'll finally call me glad. But the world don't tip the waiter who keeps working through the pain. They just keep on ordering plates and never ask about your pain. Midnight, spare change, rattling like a prayer for a 20 little moments, saying bro you still here. Blues guitar weeping while the bass holds steady. I don't need a full-time halo, I just need to feel ready. If my worth ain't in the money or the free emotional range, let me cash in all the silence, let me spend this midnight change. Let me spend this midnight change. I remember driving circles just to calm a friend's regret. Sat through every drunk confession like a unpaid safety net. Heard you really all I got, from lips that never stayed. Watch them vanish in the daylight like a debt that won't get paid. Same with love that called me anchor when the storms began to crash. Then let go when waves got calm and left me tangled in the trash. Like a life vest on overboard, a second they could swim, while I'm stuck out in the deep and learning how to flow with him. So I'm recounting all these coins like a budget for my soul. How much energy I got, how many miles I can't control. What I'm willing now to offer, what I'm keeping just for me. Cause a heart with nothing left is just a shell they use for free. Street lights skip across the hood like receipts that never print. Every glow a tiny warning, I refuse to take his hint. Now I read them like a ledger of the nights I gave too much, and I circle never again round every time I lost my touch. Spare change, rattling like a prayer for a 20 little moments, saying bro you still here. Blues guitar weeping while the bass holds steady. I don't need a full-time halo, I just need to feel ready. If my worth ain't in the money or the free emotional range, let me cash in all the silence, let me spend this midnight change. Let me spend this midnight change. Maybe wealth is in the choices that I make to guard my peace, not in how much I can offer while my health is on a leash. Maybe no is legal tender in a world of always yes. Maybe I can pick you up tonight is how I clean the mess. So I'm dropping guilty pennies in the bottom of this tray. Every sorry I exist that I don't need to ever say. Turn them into little wishes when they rattle, when they ring, saying next time that I'm needed they can pay with honest things. I pull into a quiet lot, engine idle, music low. Look at all that copper shimmer when the dash lights start to glow. And I swear I see reflections of the times I felt you stuck, but I also see a version of me learning to fill my cup. I grab one coin between my fingers, hold it up toward the sky, whisper this is for the nights I almost let my spirit die. Then I flick it in the air, let it drop beside the rest, like I'm tossing out the habit of neglecting my own chest. When I drive back to the city, I'll still show up when I can. I'll still listen, still be present, still be more than just a man. But the price of my attention won't be nothing anymore. You can't pay me back in praises if you never touch the core. My spare change, rattling like a prayer for a 20 little moments, saying bro you still here. Blues guitar weeping while the bass holds steady. I don't need a full-time halo, I just need to feel ready. If my worth ain't in the money or the free emotional range, let me cash in all the silence, let me spend this midnight change. Midnight change. Guy still low, heartbeat high, sky still painted, faint and strange, but I'm richer than this morning from this roll of midnight change. If they ask me where I've been, why I'm acting
passenger seat promises, ghosts and buckle lines, shadows of the people I kept trying to keep fine. I was always picking up, dropping off, playing ride, turning every single road into a way to coincide. I remember saying hop into the ones who brought me down, drove them through their darker seasons while I quietly would drown. They'd adjust the air and playlist talk for hours, missed the clue that the driver in the front was needing rescue too. Now the cushions hold impressions from the bodies that are gone, little dips in faded fabric like the memories I've drawn. I look over at that empty space and finally see it clear. The seat was never meant for just whoever standing near. Tonight I roll the window down and pat it with my hand, say I'm saving this for someone who can actually understand. Or for jackets, bags, or takeout, or for nothing just for me. But I'm done letting every stranger treat it like a taxi fee.
Passengers, he promises I'm changing up the deal. 420 in my lungs telling me to keep it real. Blues guitar behind me, humming soft and low. I don't have to carry everyone wherever they wanna go. If you ride along my highway, better honor what it costs. Cause I'm done giving away this seat and calling my heart lost.
Hey, I think back to late night drives where I was half awake and numb, hands locked on the steering wheel, I'm scared of what I become. They would vent about the lovers, about bosses, about stress, and say sorry I talk too much. Well I said nah, it's all blessed. But they never flipped the mirror, never asked you what's with you. Never noticed how my knuckles turned to chalk white on the view. How my jokes got kinda hollow, how my laugh would lag behind, how the circles around my eyes were basically neon signs. I trained people how to treat me by refusing to unfold, by pretending I was solid, by rehearsing I'm not cold. So they leaned into their fiction like a pillow that won't break. And I shattered quiet nights alone, just trying not to quake. Now the road hums like a boundary under low and steady tires, and the cabin fills with quiet like a choir with no choirs. Just my own small shaky voice saying I deserve a say, saying this car is not a lifeboat if you plan to never
Passengers, he promises I'm changing up the deal. 420 in my lungs telling me to keep it real. Blues guitar behind me, humming soft and low. I don't have to carry everyone wherever they wanna go. If you ride along my highway, better honor what it costs. Cause I'm done giving away this seat and calling my heart lost.
Yeah. Maybe someday someone special's gonna throw their jacket there, tilt the seatbelt just a little, run their fingers through my hair, ask you good and really mean it, not just filler in the air. Sing along my key to verses just to prove they plan to care. But until that kind of human shows up driving I can see, I'll keep half this car for healing, keep the shocking spot for me. Let my backpack, fears and notebooks right beside the driver's side. Let my playlist be the passenger that never wants to hide. So if I pass you on the freeway with an empty seat in view, don't assume I'm needing company or I'm lonely without you. Maybe that's the first time in a decade I'm not split, not dividing all my focus just to make another fit. I'm releasing guilty feelings, glued to saying no, not now. Learning I can pick you up tonight, as valid as allowed. You can take your own damn Uber, you can walk or you can call. I'm not failing as a person just cause I ain't on your hall. By the time I loop the exit, heart is light, a gassy gone, but my spirit feels much fuller than the nights I drove to dawn. And the passenger seat waiting doesn't scream you're all alone, it just smiles like open space where I can finally be my own.
Passengers, he promises I'm changing up the deal. 420 in my lungs telling me to keep it real. Blues guitar behind me, humming soft and low. I don't have to carry everyone wherever they wanna go. If you ride along my highway, better honor what it costs. Cause I'm done giving away this seat and calling my heart lost.
I park up by my building, leave the seat just how it is, yeah. No new name etched in the dust, no new claim upon my wrist, yeah. If the right one never shows, they're respected from the start, yeah. Till then it stays reserved for the driver and his heart.
in a row, negotiating terms.
Quiet lane agreement, handshake with the night. I respect the speed it wants, if it respect my fragile fight. I've been drag racing my feelings like I'm running from a fine. Like if I slow down for a second, they'll arrest me for the crime. So I zip through every weekend, stacking plans like alibis. Keeping busy as a blanket, overtired, overwise. Till my chest starts doing sirens and my hands begin to shake, warning me that this arrangement is a one-sided mistake. Tonight, I cut the engine noise back down to mellow hum. Move the blinker to the right and let the left lane warriors run. Watch them fade into the distance like the goals that weren't for me. All those versions they projected that I'm finally letting be. Purple wash across the hood like a contract's final page, where I sign my own conditions at the bottom of the range. Clause 1, I won't chase people who don't meet me halfway through. Clause 2, if my body's screaming, I will listen, I will move.
Quiet lane agreement, terms and conditions clear. 420 clause that says protect your atmosphere. Losing the piano, bass to keep me sane. I don't need to win the race if I can keep this lane. If the world calls me too slow, they can scream it in the rain. I just shook hands with my heartbeat on a quiet lane.
I remember when ambition was a monster on my dash. Every mile I didn't conquer felt like losing all my cash. Saw my value in the numbers, in the streams and in the likes. In the circles I was running around somebody else's mics. Every yo you up at 3 a.m. I treat it like a must. Turn my sleep into a bargain just to earn a little trust. Pulled up anytime they texted, never checked in with my needs. Traded long-term peace of mind for a hit of short-term deeds. But the quiet taught me different when I finally stopped the car. Sat and listened to my breathing echo soft beneath the stars. Heard my ribs creak like a house frame that been holding too much snow. Realized I'm the only tenant here, it's on me to say no more. So I'm canceling subscriptions to the stress I never chose. Unsubscribing from the drama that kept knocking at my nose. If your energy is chaos, that don't care what it will cost. You can stay up in the fast lane, I'm okay with what I lost.
Quiet lane agreement, terms and conditions clear. 420 clause that says protect your atmosphere. Losing the piano, bass to keep me sane. I don't need to win the race if I can keep this lane. If the world calls me too slow, they can scream it in the rain. I just shook hands with my heartbeat on a quiet lane.
Maybe settling ain't choosing somewhere small instead of grand. Maybe it's just finding somewhere you can finally stand, where the rent is paid and calm, not in panic, not in dread. Where the traffic and your thoughts can go to sleep inside your head. So I draft another email to the part of me that's scared. Right, we're not falling off, we're just moving double care. We're investing in a body that is tired of being used, in a mind that ain't a racetrack for the views. Now the right lane feels like freedom with these semis rolling by. I can see the stars more clearly when I'm not trying to fly. Let the busyness pass by me in a blur of white and red, while I count each easy breath like it's money in my head. I'm not saying I won't hustle, I'm not saying I won't strive. I'm just saying I refuse to drive myself out of a life. There's a difference between effort that expands what I can be, and the hustle that erases every trace of simply me. When the exit from my neighborhood appears up in the haze, I signal like a promise that I'll keep the set of ways. Whisper thank you to the asphalt for the space we just designed, for the contract with the quiet that respected both our minds.
Quiet lane agreement, terms and conditions clear. 420 clause that says protect your atmosphere. Losing the piano, bass to keep me sane. I don't need to win the race if I can keep this lane. If the world calls me too slow, they can scream it in the rain. I just shook hands with my heartbeat on a quiet lane. Park the car, lock the door, leave the rush out on the street. Take the quiet up the stairs with me like dust on both my feet. If they ask me why I'm calm or why I'm moving less insane, I'll say I signed a little deal. It's called the quiet lane agreement.